Om Sarve Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Paranga Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Sahanao Avatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinao Adhitam Astu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, so well, maybe I frightened you off because of hi there, someone is there. Well, I was going to make a vocabulary, but I ended up not doing it. Well, let's go on from where we were. I think we were just at the beginning of page 6 here. So Malati, why don't you start reading? Madhava.
Madhava to Dhiraha. Samipe ekaha yodaha asit. Tasya hastad Madhavaha katgam akritavan. So, but Madhava was brave. Dhiraha, hero. He was a hero.
Yeah, well, no, it's Veera. Dhira and Veera. It's interesting, because there's, there are these. You've heard of Virudavali? You know this word Virudavali?
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the Virudavali as a particular, Rupa Goswami wrote a book called Virudavali Lakshanam, right? And I did some research on that because when I was doing with Gopala Champu, there are many, Jiva Goswami also wrote a book called Gopala Virudavali, and Rupa Goswami wrote Govinda Virudavali. And Vishwanath Chakravarti also wrote a Virudavali, right? So it's this particular stylistic form of poetry. But I did research on it and tried to find if there was anything, and I couldn't find anything prior to Rupa Goswami. I really didn't find anything that could about Virudavalis. So I don't think that he originated it, but it was certainly his Virudavali Lakshan is the first real exposition that I could find on the subject at all. And but one of the characteristics of the poetry is that you put the word dhira or vira. So you have the choice. You got to put dhira or vira at the end of a section, right? So the way that Virudavalis look, I should show you. Virudavalis are very interesting. They always rhyme. You put you have to rhyme, and each word rhymes. So you have like one word and then one word rhyming, like that. And it has to follow. The meter is always going to be the same. So they have different meters, but you always the two words that rhyme. They'll be in the same meter, right? Short, long, short, long, or whatever. And so it's very, and then it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So you can go maybe have like 40 or 50 or, just keeps going on and on and on with all these panegyrics. They're all praises, and they're mostly in vocative case. It's quite a, but it's just a way of, like, it's like a namavali. I think that's why they like it so much, because it's like a nam sankirtan.
So Dhira is the same as Dhira Lalita, the character?
So you have the Dhira, so that's right. So that's why I was just doing this actually in Preeti Sandarbha, because they had the four Dhiras, the four kinds of character. Heroes. So it is a kind of a heroic character, but because Dhira usually means some kind of wisdom or patience, or so it indicates something a little bit more than Vira, which is just heroic.
Just muscle. Yeah.
So, but it does, but the reason I said all that about from the Birudavali is because it does seem to have some crossover, but what exactly, what exactly is intended? I guess that a king can have two forms, because Virudavalis, they originate with, the praises of the king. So whatever other material that I found about Virudavalis, it was usually, like for praising a king. So that the court poets, they would compose these Virudavalis in order to praise the king. So the Dhira or Vira, I suppose, I probably didn't go into it in enough detail, but the two different aspects of the king's character, one when he's sitting on the throne and one when he's out in the battlefield. But anyway, here Madhava to Dhira, here this would mean here that Madhava was Dhira. It would mean that he was calm and collected, that he didn't he didn't get flustered. Sorry, go ahead.
So Samipe, close to him there was one soldier.
Yeah.
And from his hand, Madhava Akritavan took the sword.
Yeah, I was just going to, actually, just before we started the class, I was going to look up this word Akrishta. There must be a better word for, like in Hindi you would say Kinchta, so Kinchna, like he that he snatched it away. Akrishtavan seems a little, we don't generally tell Akrishta Akarshanam. We generally mean it for some kind of, more subtle kind of attraction. But this is, like modern spoken Sanskrit, so it has, so it's, I guess, you never know. I mean, if I knew Telugu or not Telugu, but Kannada, I think I would get a lot of insight into the way that they, because most of these books are coming from Kannada, from Karnataka. Go ahead.
Tena Katgena Dvi Tran Maritavan. So with his sword, he killed 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, that's a good one. We're just doing Tritiya Vibhakti. I think I'll use that sentence. Okay.
Etat drishtva itare api palayanam kritavantaha. Seeing that, the others also fled. So is that palayanam, is that a causative? Because
no. Palayanam, yeah, that's an interesting word actually, because you don't usually get I don't really know. You don't usually get roots. There are very few roots in Sanskrit that have 2 syllables. Like most verb roots are 1 syllable. But palayati, it looks like a causative, but it's not really. It's a 10th, but because there's no noun. I mean, it could be, like these denominative verbs, the ones that are formed from nouns. It could have been that, but I don't know what, palayati. I really don't know where it comes from. It might even be a backward formation, from the vernaculars into Sanskrit. Anyway, Palayanam Kritavan, they fled. I would put a palayan, right? They ran away. Or a palayanta, a palayanta. I think palayante usually it's Atmanepada. No,
Taruni.
Go ahead.
Taruni Bhaya Kampita Asit. That young girl shivered from fear.
Yes. Go ahead.
Madhavaha tam tasyaha griham prapitavan. Madhava brought her to her home.
Good.
Tadanantaram ashramam pratyagatavan. After that, he went to the ashram.
Yeah, we should practice. We should turn all these into verbs. Anyway, go ahead, Shamatika.
There might be some noise. I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
Yudha Samape.
Samaye.
Oh, sorry. Yudha Samaye Madhavasya Shariram Kshatavi Kshatam Asit. So Madhava's body
Kshata, vikshata. You mean, well, this is indicate, you know, this is a kind of a very typical of most Sanskrit, of most Indian language. It's a bit less in Sanskrit, but in the vernaculars, you know, this repetition or repetition of two versions of the same word, right? Kshata and vikshata. They both really mean the same thing. It means he's wounded all, you know, he received many wounds. So his body was, was cut and, and wounded, many times during the battle.
I see. So in the battle, the first.
Yeah, so kshata, vikshata, kshata is a past participle, right? And vikshata, they're both past participles. Just putting them together just indicates that it happened, that it many times and so on.
Okay. So
even way you could say maybe he was cut this way and that, right? Yeah, kshata this way and a vikshata that way.
Этот дриштва Guruhu Prishtavan have seen that Guru asked Kim Sanjatam what's going on?
What happened?
Okay. So
Sanjatam, you see, you recognize Sanjatam? It's from the past part of
so this is
so the way it's being
to be born.
That's right.
Yes.
So but here, yes, so that's right. That's the original sense, but here, just what happened, what took place.
Okay. Madhavaha sarvam vrittantam niveditavam. Not sure. So Madhava, it's for sure nominative.
Well, Madhava is the person, right? So Madhita.
Yes.
Then Niveditavan, this is being used frequently in this book. Well, it's all right, it's because this is also in, you would use this Bengali, Hindi. So most Sanskrit, most of the Indian languages, you use this about, it means to offer, like Nivedanam, Atma Nivedanam means to offer up yourself. But here, Niveditavan, he offered up, somebody's telling what he's offering some words. He's telling him something. So Vrittanta, what is he telling him? He's telling him all the news. Vrittanta, all what happened.
What was happened? Okay.
That's right. So Vritta. So Vritta here means what? So he could have said here, instead of saying Kin Sanjatam, he could have said Kim Vrittam or King Sang Vrittam. That's actually in the I noticed Rupa Goswami uses that a lot in the plays. You know, when he's asking what happened, he'll use kim vrittam, kim samvrittam, like that. And a vritantam, that just means that, you know, to the end of the events. So it means the news. Vritanta is news, or you know, told him everything that happened. He submitted to him all the events that had taken place, something like that. Anyway, you can play with it, but he just told him everything. That's all. Okay, Malati.
Tada tatra tyaha kechana gurum prishtavantaha. Then, so tatratyaha, there at that place?
Oh, no, this is when you, I should have, I think, well, I'm going to put it in somewhere. I think maybe I'll go back and put it into the first chapter of the book. This tya suffix is put onto words that, you know, onto these adverbs like tatra. So atra tyaha or tatra tyaha. Really, there's not that many of them. You know, I guess kutra tyaha, you could also say that. But this just means those who were there, the people who are there, the ones who are standing there, like that kind of thing, the people who are there. And also there's a different one for time, right? So tada becomes tadanim tanaha. So idanim and tadanim, right? Idanin tana, the things that are going on right now, or tadanin tana, the things that were going on at that time. So those are just suffixes that are added onto those adverbs to make them into adjectives. So it means the people who were there. So some of the students who were there, they asked. So
they asked the guru.
Some who were present there. Some of those who were present there.
Yeah? Brahmanaha yudham kartum arhati kim? Etad dharma viruddham kila iti. So a brahmana, it's not proper for a brahmana to. Is it proper for a brahmana to engage in battle? This is against dharma.
Yes. Yeah, so there you can see I'm observing here, because you know, these words like kila, they're kind of hard to exactly place, but here you can see that the way that he's using here, surely it is against the like that kind of a, surely it is against religion, against the principles of religion. So then tada guru uktavan, go ahead, Samantika.
Tada Guru Uktavan. So then Guru said, Madhavaha Yuktam Eva Acha Ritavan. So Madhava
Yuktam.
So with Madhava.
But Madhava Yuktam Eva Acharitavan. So Acharitavan, he behaved or he acted, and Yuktam. So Yuktam here, this word here, you got to get this one right, because Yuktam is a bit difficult. It has many different meanings, right? We're getting it so much in the Bhagavad Gita, right? So now what does it mean here? It means here that Yuktam means appropriate, proper. So Madhava certainly behaved appropriately, or he acted correctly. That's what it means. So Yuktam means correct.
Okay. Yes. Pujarhanam Rakshanam Karaniyam Eva. So, like worship should be let's say safeguarded.
Okay, no. You see pujar hanam. So pujar ho. This word came up in Bhagavad Gita. This was in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It was talking about Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan. You know, where was it? Pujar ho Madhusudana. Where is it? It's in the Bhagavad Gita there in the first, in this, you know, he says Pujar ho. He says that Drona and Bhishma, that's what he's talking about them. They're Pujar ho, that they are worthy of worship. They are deserving of worship. So this Arha is coming from Arhati. See Arhati over here? You know, Kartum Arhati. So Brahmana Yuddham Kartum Arhati Kim. Is it appropriate for a Brahmin to engage in battle, to fight? And he's saying Pujarho. So now this Arha, Pujarha means that is fitting, is appropriate for worship, is deserving of worship. And so that's Shashti Bahuvachanam. So Rakshanam. So the Shashti, and when you have these verbal nouns, the object of the verbal noun is in the Shashti Vibhakti. So protection should be done of the people who are worthy of worship. In other words, respected people should be protected. That's what it means. Yes, yes, understand?
Yes, I see. Ataha Madhavaha Shreshtham Dharmam Acharitavan iti. So that's why Madhava behaved the highest type of dharma.
Yeah. Well, you can see here, this is a bit different, you know, like the Acharitavan, it's taking an object here. So to, you know, like he behaved, you know, well, he performed the highest. You have to kind of change the verb here because this is done as a transitive verb. Whereas here, Yuktameva, well, this looks more like an adverb, whereas here it looks more like an accusative case. Anyway, he did the right thing. He performed the highest duty. He did the best thing. The highest religion. Here, this is the Dharma Viruddham, and he's answering no. Shrestang Dharmam Acharitavan. All right, next one, Malati.
Vilas has joined us. Maybe he wants to read the last lines.
Oh, who's here?
Vilas, hiding behind display.
Okay, let me see. Why don't I get this fully thing here? Okay. Oh, Vilasaji.
Now his name is there.
Vagamanam Tava. Pata, Sravaya.
Okay, Patamyaham. Esha eva Madhava tatah param vidyaranyam iti prasiddha. So this Madhava here, prasiddha, I mean, he is known, or yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he is known. How is he known? Therefore, tatah param vidyaranyam iti prasiddha. So therefore, this Madhava here is indeed known as Vidyaranya, so the knowledge forest.
Yes. Well, yes. Yeah. So here, tatak param means after this. So this here means, you know, this is not. This is after that event. this very Madhava later became known as, or after this very Madhava was known as, or became famous as Vidyaranya. So yeah, I'm a bit interested. I don't really know this very much about Vidyaranya, but the Vidyaranya, in my opinion, he was a follower of Shankaracharya and wrote many commentaries. Like there's a big commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, and also other books as well, which I think includes that Shaddarshana. There's a book on the Sarva Darshana Sangraha, which is written by Madhavananda, or sorry, Madhava. So I think that's the same Vidyaranya.
Okay.
Anyway, but that's got nothing to do with his, and that's why I was a little doubtful about this story, because he had Yavana. These were Yavanas. So I don't know that Shankaracharya and Yavanas were contemporaneous, but there were Yavanas before, of course. There were the Greeks came in the original Yavanas were the Greeks, but later on we talk about Yavanas being Muslims. Anyway,
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Esha eva Vijayanagaram Sthapitavan.
Okay, so this might be a different Vidyaranya.
So he Sthapitavan, he established Vijayanagaram.
Very good.
It's probably just the name of Nagara. So I mean, literally the.
Oh, Vijayanagara. Vijayanagara is in Andhra Pradesh. It's Vijayanagaram was the I don't know where that it probably still exists, but it's not a major city now. But that was the capital city of an empire. And
yeah, Vijayanagara is here. I'm in Andhra Pradesh.
Oh, you're in Andhra Pradesh. Well, there you see.
Yes.
So, and Andhra Pradesh is Vijayanagara. So that was the thing. And so Vijayanagara, they were always fighting with Orissa. The Orissan, and this is at the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Orissa was engaged in a war with the Vijayanagara. So they didn't call it Andhra Pradesh or anything like that in those days. They called it Vijayanagara. All right, let's just go on to the next story. So why don't you continue, Vilas?
ठीक. Okay. Maharshi Bharadvaja Mahan Pradnya iti Bharatiye. Whoa, I'm getting nauseous.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time keeping the page on the right. There we go. I wanted to get the title.
Maybe I'll just open it here. Okay. I have it also on my computer.
Okay.
Okay. Maharshi Bharadvaja Mahan Pradnya iti Bharatiye Rishikule Prasiddha. So among the groups of, among the society of rishis in Bharata, in India, it was known Maharshi Bharadvaja Mahan Pradnya. They are all in the Khatri Karaka, so this seems to be one entity, one person. So this Maharshi Bharadvaja Mahan Pradnya. Aha, so this Maharshi, he is a big scholar, or big learned very and this fact, Mahan Pradnya, very learned. अभी नहीं, अभी क्लास चल रहा है 5 मिनट के बाद, ठीक है? तो नीचे आओ हाँ लाइट वाला फोन को उठाना रे They've been calling for minutes. I'm telling I come. So this Bharatiye Rishikule, it was well known for them that this Bharadvaja was a very learned scholar.
Prasiddha, you can use the word famous, I think.
Aha, okay. Okay. Tasya sahasrashaha shishyaha asan. So he had hundreds, no, sahasrashaha? Yeah, he had 100 students.
1,000.
Was it 1,000?
Well,
Okay.
no, it's actually when you put that shaha, personally in this particular case, I don't know if I would use this particular adverbial form, but you could say like he had disciples in the thousands, something like that. He had thousands of disciples like that. Sahasra shaha, like it's in the Gita there, it's used that he saw, what was it, Santi Sahasra shaha. Like Santi Sahasrashaha, it's in the Bible. It comes up a lot. It just means in the thousands.
Okay. Okay.
It's not meant to be a specific number. It's meant to just, like.
Okay. Am I still reading? Okay. Teshu Rajakumara Dhanika Putraha Daridra Chapi Asan. So amongst them, meaning these thousands students, Prince Rajakumara, princes, many princes, Dhanika Putra, princes and sons of rich people, of dhanis, Daridraha Chapi, and also poor ones were there. So amongst his thousands of students, he had princes, sons of wealthy people, and also poor students. Kintu ashrame te sarve samana. However, in the ashram, they were all equal.
Yeah, finish it.
Okay. Bharadvaja sarvan api pritya palayati sma. So Bharadvaja okay. So Pritya, Priti with love, he nurtured, protected, I don't know, this Palana.
Yeah, he took care of them.
Okay, so he took care of them. Pritya, so with love, all of them. He treated with love.
Yeah, this is just what we were doing, because we're in the other class, we're doing the Tritiya Vibhakti. So this here, Pritya, is a good case here. It's a good sentence. I think I'm just going to steal some of these sentences from my manual. Just the nice, easy sentences. So he protected them, or he took care of them with love, like lovingly. So this is kind of what I called an adverbial usage of the Tritiya Vibhakti. You take, when you say with love, then it means lovingly, like that. Okay, who's next? Malati, you're in there?
Yeah. Bharadvajaha vritaha jataha. So Bharadvaja became old. Ekada Brahma tasya samipam agatavan. One day, Brahma came to him.
That's right.
Uktavancha. Maharshi, Bhavan idanim Shatayuhu asti. He said, Maharishi, now you have become 100 years old.
Yeah, that's right. This is this is a Bahuvrihi Samasa, right? Shata Ayuhu. So Ayuhu is life, and Shata is 100. So it's just made into an adjective. 100 years old. So you are 100 years old. So now you are 100 years old, like that. Continue.
Idanim bhavataha ayuhu samaptam. So now your life is coming to an end.
Yes.
Tatapi
So
Bhavan.
Ayuhu really means the duration of life. Your duration of life is finished, like that. That will be the.
Tatapi Bhavan Lokaupakari. So Loka Upakari is welfare to people.
Yeah, so this is a Shashti Tat Purusha, right? Lokanam upakarin. So you are a benefactor to the world. So you do good. You're doing good for the world. You do good for the people. You're a good welfare worker. Like you do.
So is it to be understood as a is it like a videoing? I mean, does he want to say you should now become
No. He's going. You read what you continue reading. Agre Sara, Agre Patra. No, that'll be. This is a you are just a simple. This is
you are okay. Just a statement. Ataha bhavataha vishaye. Can you move the page? Vishay aham tushtaha asmi. So I'm satisfied with Vishaya. It's hard to translate.
Yeah,
I would just say I'm satisfied with you.
Yeah, so this is the trouble here was, like is because we have to take this extra step, the step in between the Sanskrit syntax and the English syntax is quite, quite wide. So, here what we want to do is we want to grasp the how it's said, how you say it in Sanskrit. So in the matter, in the subject of you, right? In the subject of you, I am satisfied. Means I'm satisfied with you. That's all we would say in English. Bhavata vishaye, in the matter, in about you, I'm like that.
Aham idanim ekam vardam dadami. So I'm giving you a boon now.
That's right.
Tena bhavan punaha yuvakaha bhavishyati. By that you will again become young.
That's right.
Punaha shata varshaya paryantam jivatu iti. Again, shata 100. So may you live again 100 years.
Yeah, so that's right. So paryantam, here paryantam means up to the limit of 100 years. So up to 100 years, like that. Pariyantam, antam is the end, right? Pariyantam, around coming up to the end, like so that's to the limit. So Shatavarsha Pariyantam, up to 100 years. I mean, like that's what I'm saying. That we can easily translate the meaning into English, but to get the Sanskrit method of expression. But you can see, I mean, obviously, like that probably Vilasa, you can see that how this is these expressions. These are like if you look at Hindi, this is closer to Hindi than it is to English, right? So Sarvarsa Tak. Like Paryantam is in Hindi, it's tak, right? So Sobarsa tak or Sorsal tak, Jivita rahe, like that. Okay, Samantika.
Okay. Can you move a little bit lower? Otherwise, in my telephone, don't see everything.
Oh. Like that?
Very good. Yes.
Okay.
No, lower. Yes, like this. Brahma Devasya Anugraham Shrutva Ashrama Vasinaha Ananditaha. So having heard the grace of Brahmadev, all the ashramites were overjoyed.
Yes. I think we could continue.
Punah desha videshebhyaha adhikadhikaha shishyaha samagataha.
So there you see the same. Yata purve vayam drishtavantah kshata vikshataha. Tasya shariram kshata vikshatam abhavat. Ta atra tata desha videshebhyaha. So desha videsha. So from the country and other countries, right? So from this country and other countries. And adhikadhikaha. That adhikadhikaha, more and more. So from like,
from all over.
That's right.
Like places and like.
Yeah, you don't really need to translate it exactly. You can say from yeah, like you just said, from all the countries, from all around, and more students came to him.
Yeah. Veda Ghoshaha Upanishadcha Shasravakyarthaha Ityadayaha Punarapi Pravrittaha. Veda Ghoshaha, is it the name?
No, this is the Veda Ghoshaha. So Ghoshaha is a sound, right? The Ghosha. So like Mani Ghosha, one of the Shankas at the beginning of the Gita there, Mani Ghosha. So Ghosha is a sound. So the sound of the Vedas, the Upanishad Charcha, discussion of the Upanishads, Shastra Vakyartha here means debate. So the debate on the meaning of the scriptures. All these things Pravritta began again.
So and Ityadyaha, so it means that like and even more, like
Yes, etc.
Yes, etc. So we have Upanishad Charcha.
Yeah, so because
Upanishad, I understand, so Sadhi. So we have Charcha. What is that?
Yeah, so it's Upanishad Charcha. So Charcha, so the Sunday, it becomes double Cha, right? Upanishad Charcha. And so Charcha means discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, just like Paracharcha. This is the word Paracharcha is used, like if you're gossiping about other people. Para meaning other, Paracharcha. Paraninda Paracharcha. That's what it says. Paraninda Paracharcha. Those things are things that people avoid. You should avoid.
Okay, and this is feminine for sure, right?
Yes, Charcha is feminine.
So all these things took place once again.
That's right.
Evam Shatam Varshani Samaptani. So in this way, 100 years, how to say, finished.
Yeah, we're completed, right? So and now
we're completed.
So notice here that you have Shatam. So Shatam is just a number, and Varshani is putting. So the Shatam doesn't go through any change here. So you don't say Shatani Varshani. You just say Shatang Varshani. And the same thing for Sahasram. So in Shatam is just for all the numbers. You don't have to say Shatani. All right, Vilas, go ahead.
So Vilas left, and Shatam is like adverb.
Yeah, I guess so. It's but it's an adjective really, but it's not. It just has this unchanged form. So I guess it's an avyaya. Yeah. You can, I think you can say Shatani also. You can say Shatani. And you can also say Shatang Varshanam. So there's a number of different ways of saying it.
Okay.
Okay, Vilasa.
Vilas excused himself. He had to deal with a visitor, so he had to go.
Okay, so you go, Malati.
Bharadvaja Uktavan. Oh no, where are we?
Here.
Punaha Brahma Agatavan. Tejasvi Bharadvaja Tam Namaskritvan. So again, Brahma came again, and Bharadvaja bowed down in front of him very energetically, Tejasvi, like full of vigor.
Yes, vigorous, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Brahma,
he's still 100 years old, but he's still
full of
full of energy.
Yeah. Brahma Prishtavan. Bharadvaja Maya Arikam Ayu Datam Kalu. Brahma asked him, Bharadvaja, did I not give you more life?
Yes.
Katam saha kalaha bhavata yapitaha iti?
Yeah.
How has time Yapita, what does it mean?
Okay, Yapita. So this is interesting. I actually put this in the manual because I put it in the manual when we talk about causatives. Because causatives so ya means to go, right? So yapanam means to make go, and then you make go, you make time go. So if you say passing the time, then you use these. You can either use nayati, you can also use nayati, right? Like it's just coming up. I just was looking at it. Do I still have it on? No, closed the file, but I was just looking at that one this morning because it's coming up. You know, it says. Dinani katam nayami, right? So this is in the prayer by Bilbamangala. He says, "How will I pass the days?" Right? Dinani adanyani dinani. But anyway, so here this is also yapita is a past participle from yapanam yapayati. So kalam yapayami, right? Katam. So he could have said Katham Tam Kalam Bhavan Ayapayat, right? Ayapayat, Yap or Katam Bhavan Yapayati. So this is using because this is what in this simplified Sanskrit we're using the past participle to indicate the past tense or the past, you know, because he could have said Bhavan Yapitavan, right? But he's putting in a passive construction. So katang sakal, how did you pass the time?
Yeah.
All right. So remember this expression. This is also used in Hindi and Bengali also. Kala in Bengali you change the ya to ja, right? So it's japanam, kala japanam. It's used quite a lot.
So that's a causative, right?
Yeah, it's a causative from ya because ya causatives, most of the roots that end in a, you use this pa, like stapanam, yapanam, mapanam, mapayati, right? Mapayati also. There's most of the roots that are one syllable ending in long a, you add a pa, and then the yati, and then you add the ayati, the causative endings. Let's go. We have enough time. Let's see. We got 5 minutes here. I don't think we can finish this. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to do so. I'm gonna have to expand this course a little bit more. Make it more. We need more Sanskrit speaking because I can see that. Anyway, please go. You read the next sentence, Shamantaka.
Thanks. Bharadvaja Uktavan. So Bharadvaja said, Deva, oh God, Maya Purva Pekshaya Adhikadhikam Adhyayam Kritam. So this is also passive. So I
Yeah,
did.
Maya, that's right.
So I did more and more adhika adhikam, yes.
Yeah.
Punarapekshaya. So this.
All right, so just notice apeksha. So this is apeksha. Apeksha is an interesting word that's probably a little bit difficult to grasp. Apeksha here means, it means a comparison, right? So than before. So than before, more and more studying done by me. So I studied more, I studied so much more than I had before, even more than I had before.
Yes, I see. Adhya panakarya mapi kurvan. This is V, I think. Yes, kurvan.
Yes, yeah, that's
asmi iti.
So here you can see this is also adhyapanam. This is also this causative, like with yapanam here, like that. You have that pa coming in. So adhyapanam. So it's adhyayanam and adhyapanam. So adhyayana means to study, and adhyapanam means to teach. Right? So adhyapaka is a teacher. So adhyapana karyam, the work of teaching, I am doing the work of teaching. So I'm doing, adhyapana karyam api kurvan asmi. So I'm the adhika adhikam, I suppose, is continuing from both of them. I'm doing more and more teaching also. So
I see.
okay, let's see how much. Oh, there's quite a bit left here. All right, do one more there. Let's have one more paragraph. Malati, go.
Tadha Brahma Prishtavan Bharadvaja Aham Punaha Ayuhu Yovanam Cha Dasyami Chit Shatavarsharpayantam Bhavan Kim Karishyati Iti. Then Brahma asked him, Bharadvaja, I will again give you life and youth, but, or if, or what, but what will you do at the end of 100 years?
No, well, yeah, so Paryantam, I don't think here in that particular case that you would have to translate up to, but for the 100 years, what will you do? Over up to the next 100 years, what will you do? Well, let's find out what he says. Bharadvaja uktavan, Bhagavan, punaha adhika jnanartham adhyayanam karishyami. Or punaha adhika jnanartham adhyayanam karishyami. I will study for more knowledge again. So I will again study for more knowledge. Adhika jnanartham. Artham here is for the sake of. Punaha api adhikadhika shishyan adhyapayishyami. And I will teach more and more students. So kim vivaha patni putradaya va na apekshitaha. Here you see this apeksha. Okay, well, kim sukam na abilasati bhavan iti prishtavan Brahma. So what? Marriage, wife, and children are not, apekshita here means needed. He wants to say needed or necessary. right? So don't you need need a wife and marriage and wife and children? Don't you want? Don't you desire abhilashati, desire? Don't you desire happiness? Brahma asked. Bharadvaja uktavan deva shishyaha eva mama putraha. My disciples are my children, are my sons. Shishya eva, just only the disciples are my sons. Veda paramparam rakshami. I maintain the tradition of the Veda, the Vedic tradition. I maintain the Vedic tradition. Veda paramparam. So parampara means tradition. Rakshami. Sarvatra jnana jyotihi prajwalayami. Here's a causative again. I light up the lamp of knowledge. Jnana pradipa, right? And say that namostute vyasa vishala buddhe fulara vindayata patra netri yena tvaya bharata taila purna prajwalito jnanamaya pradipa. So he's saying the same thing. Prajwalito jnanamaya pradipa. Only he's using the word instead of pradipa, he says jyotihi. So I am lighting the lamp of knowledge. Jyoti just means light. Itopi adikaha anandaha paramam sukhangva kim anyat syat. So itopi than this, adikaha anandaha, more joy, paramam sukhangva, more happiness, greater happiness, kim anyat syat. Is it possible that there's anything more greater happiness than this? So tada Brahma Mahatman Dhanya Bhavan. Oh great soul, you are fortunate, most fortunate. Kirtiman Bhavatu. Be be famous. may your fame spread. Iti yuktva prati nibrittaha. So he went back, he returned. Aho, prati nibrittaha. So nibritta means stopped. Prati nibritta means he went back to his abode. So aho Bharadvajasya anukaraniya nisprihata. Aho Bharadvajasya anukaraniya nisprihata. So just see this anukarani. It is to be followed. It is to be imitated. The freedom from desire of Bharadvaja is to be imitated. So we should all imitate the freedom from desire that Bharadvaja had. Okay? Vayam, I want to speak Sanskrit, so I'm gonna we'll do more. I'll do more asking questions. We'll be a little bit, not to finish the story, because the important point is not to get the story, but the important point is to get the speech, to get the diction. So we'll try to do more of that next week. I'll try. It takes a bit of discipline, but I'll do it. I promise. Okay. So let's stop there. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Purnam Madah Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe Sham. Bol Hari Bol.